Looking at you, my brother, and I say this affectionately, you might be one of the dumbest folks on the planet Earth.
The power staged you.
Imagine being a 57-year-old retired NFL superstar worth millions of dollars, has 2 daughters and a son, works for ESPN, and you throw away your whole reputation because you wanted to go mess around with an OF model that is 30 years younger than you, bruh.
Right now, the whole internet is locked in on Shannon Sharpe's downfall, and Stephen A. Smith is pouring gas on the fire. He didn't just roast Shannon on national TV, he flat out exposed what really went down behind ESPN's doors and hinted that Shannon's career might already be buried. What makes it sting even more? Shannon set himself up for this disaster. This resurfaced clip of Stephen A. Smith going in on Shannon is blowing up online, and people can't stop talking. It wasn't just Stephen's sarcasm that made the internet buzz. It was the way he made it crystal clear that he's not rocking with Shannon anymore. And in his eyes, Shannon's career is done for. Real quick, before we go deeper into this messy saga, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss how wild this story gets.
I'm not going to speak to one's innocence or one's guilt about something I have absolutely positively no knowledge of whatsoever. Do I believe that Shannon Sharpe is guilty of what he has been accused of? Absolutely not. That is my personal opinion. The brother that I've come to know, I don't believe would assault or rape anybody. And I'm going to state that emphatically. But just as emphatically, I'm going to remind everybody it is my opinion because of what I feel about him. Not in any way implying that I know a damn thing beyond.
Fans instantly started asking the big questions. Is Stephen secretly sabotaging Shannon? Did he already know about shady corporate battles happening at ESPN that we never heard about? Or was this all about envy? Whatever it was, the answers painted a disturbing picture about Shannon Sharpe's life spiraling out of control. If you've been following his case, you know Shannon's fall from everybody's favorite uncle to being called the corniest man online happened fast, especially after those scandal-packed lawsuits. But here's what most people missed. After that settlement with the model Gabrielle Zuniga, Shannon wasn't just embarrassed.
ESPN and Disney have a wait-and-see attitude when it comes to whatever evidence they may learn about this entire situation involving Shannon Sharpe from a legal and from a civil perspective. What they didn't need as it pertains to those two things that I just mentioned, they didn't need any definitive evidence at this particular moment in time about all of that stuff. Once all the things Shannon Sharpe's lawyer put out there, it was uncomfortable to listen to, and it was not something that Walt Disney once associated with its brand. So to have him on the airwaves while all of that stuff was put out there was not something that Disney was going to take. That is what I mean when I say I am not surprised.
He was left broke and drowning in debt. Stephen A. Smith saw blood in the water and he went savage with it. He spent nearly 20 minutes on air clowning Shannon for fumbling his career. He tried to hide it like he was being objective, but fans saw the smirk, the shade, and the low-key joy in his voice as he ripped Shannon apart. And the crazy twist? Just months earlier, Shannon was untouchable. After that explosive sit-down with Cat Williams, his club, Shay H. Shay, and his podcast became the biggest on YouTube. Reports even confirmed he was negotiating a record-breaking $100 million deal, easily making him the king of sports media. But that's when his whole empire crumbled in real time. Turns out, Stephen A. already had the inside scoop. He knew about Gabrielle's lawsuit before it ever went public. So when he threw those slick jabs, they weren't random.
My family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. And you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about.
He was speaking facts, and the ugly truth was clear. Shannon's ESPN run was about to get cut short. But here's the kicker. Gabrielle didn't just ask for a payout. She demanded a mind-blowing $50 million. Shannon laughed it off, calling it a money shakedown and even threatening to sue her lawyer, Tony Buzbee, for extortion. He looked so confident until the nightmare dropped. Those leaked audio tapes hit the internet, and the reaction was brutal. In one clip, Shannon can be heard threatening Gabrielle in a disturbing tone. And in another, you can feel the fear in her voice, like she truly thought he might hurt her. The second those recordings went public, the internet exploded and Shannon's reputation collapsed in seconds. Stephen A. Smith finally decided he couldn't bite his tongue any longer about the Shannon Sharpe mess. And when he spoke up, he didn't just speak, he scorched the earth. Everybody knows Stephen and Shannon go way back. Stephen was the one who helped open doors for Shannon at Fox, and the two had been tight for years. That's why people were expecting Stephen to either defend him or at least keep it neutral until the dust settled in court. But instead, Stephen stunned the world by going live and hinting that Shannon might not be as innocent as he wants people to believe. He didn't hold back, calling Shannon out for reckless choices and bragging that he'd never be caught playing the kind of risky games that Shannon was out here entertaining.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a me now, so.
I don't want to be, don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public.
Fans instantly knew what he was talking about. Shannon's headline-grabbing flings with much younger white women. But that was only the beginning of the storm. Things hit another level when news broke that Shannon quietly settled Gabrielle Zuniga's lawsuit out of court. Remember, this is the same man who swore up and down he wouldn't give her a dime. The settlement numbers weren't made public, but insiders whispered it could have been dangerously close to that jaw-dropping $50 million Gabby originally demanded. For Shannon, the hit was brutal. Tens of millions gone, stacked on top of sky-high legal bills that left his finances gasping for air. And then came the part that sent social media into flames. Gabby herself stepped forward after the settlement, announcing she was retiring from OF. She didn't mention the lawsuit, didn't speak on her healing, didn't even bring up other alleged victims. Instead, she was grinning about her next chapter and how excited she was. People online instantly started questioning her motives. Was this a setup from the jump? Or was the evidence against Shannon so damning that he had no choice but to fold after all his tough talk about fighting back? But the nightmare for Shannon didn't end there. It was only the beginning of his spiral. Because just when he thought he could move past Gabby's case, ghosts from his past came back to haunt him. Out of nowhere, another woman reemerged. Michelle Evans, his ex, who had filed a lawsuit against him years ago with shocking claims dating back over a decade. Now she's back again, hitting Shannon with a brand new defamation suit, this time demanding $16 million. And from the looks of it, she might actually have the receipts to crush him once and for all. For Shannon,
it's important to point out a couple of things. Number one, I was not there. I can provide no eyewitness account. And even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt from a knowledgeable place because I have nothing to do with this. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know this person. I know what the reports say. I know the reports, the things that have been reported on a multitude of outlets, from the AP to the New York Post to Forbes to TMZ and everything in between. I mean, I can't even count the number of publications that have talked about it or written about it, networks, etc. It's all over the internet.
This was like financial quicksand. Every move he made, he sank deeper. And the damage wasn't just in his bank account. His image, once polished and admired, is now stained beyond repair. This was the same man who used to be sports media's it guy, the one networks fought over. Now fans don't even want to see him on their screens anymore. His reputation flipped from America's favorite uncle to someone the internet now brands as a creep. And the fall happened at lightning speed. What makes it even worse is that people warned him this would happen. Old clips from Club Shay Shay are going viral all over again, with fans dragging him for ignoring red flags. And the most brutal one? A resurfaced interview where Monique herself warned Shannon about fooling around with women young enough to be his daughters. That clip alone had fans roasting him nonstop, saying he basically got told to his face what was coming, and still didn't listen. Monique looked Shannon dead in the eye and warned him, if he kept living reckless, it would only end in his downfall. And looking back now, she couldn't have been more right. But if you thought that clip was tough to watch, wait until you see the one that's been blowing up from Cat Williams' viral sit-down. Unlike Monique's subtle warning, Cat didn't sugarcoat a thing.
He called black women gold diggers. He told his own children, that he should be the last option that they are able to call whenever they need help. He didn't even want to pay for his own, I believe it was his daughter's wedding. He was a willing participant. He was a willing participant in every single thing that he did, and I don't feel sorry for him. The universe sent him signs. Cat Williams tried to warn him. He said it takes 2 weekends. Monique tried to warn him that him now, at the age of 57, shouldn't be messing with a girl that is, 36 years younger than him? And he didn't listen. And he kept it going. And now he has lost his entire football career, basically because him and that girl had to settle for $23 million. His whole football career, he only made 22. So she got his entire Hall of Fame football career within, plus $1 million, within just a few short months.
He told Shannon flat out, it doesn't matter how famous you are. If you don't check yourself, you'll end up crushed, destroyed like K the Conqueror. Fans can't get enough of these old clips resurfacing because they show exactly how much game Shannon ignored. TikTok lit up with people reminding him that Monique and Kat were basically giving him a survival guide, live on camera, and he just laughed it off. One fan said it best, all that wisdom dripping off those two, it was meant for you, Shannon. And now, the question everybody's asking is chilling. Could Shannon have saved himself by listening, or was he doomed from the start? maybe even set up. Then came the ultimate blow. Shannon got slapped with a termination email from ESPN. No warning, no big announcement, just a cold goodbye in his inbox. That gig on First Take wasn't just another job. It was the crown jewel of his career, the role that kept him locked in the spotlight and stacked his biggest checks. But once word got around that he settled Gabrielle's lawsuit for a fortune, the execs didn't want their brand tied to him anymore. Quietly but ruthlessly, they cut him loose. Insiders say Shannon was shattered because this wasn't just unemployment. This was ESPN officially stamping him as damaged goods. And the humiliation didn't stop there. His podcast, Club Shay Shay, once untouchable, has been slipping fast. Sponsors have ghosted him. His merch launch got stalled. And fans even claim he's been trying to unload his Atlanta mansion he used to flex on Instagram. From the outside, it looks like Shannon is throwing everything at the wall just to keep from going under. Then came the pettiness that broke the internet. Stephen A. Smith unfollowed Shannon on Instagram. That one click had fans in a frenzy because it was proof their friendship wasn't just strained, it was dead. Word is, Stephen A. doesn't even pick up Shannon's calls anymore. The optics were brutal. Shannon wasn't just losing money.
What we give you in this manner.
He was losing allies. And the collapse kept snowballing. After that record-breaking Cat Williams interview, Shannon's numbers hit a peak he's never been able to touch again. Every new guest gets compared to that moment, and the comments are ruthless. He's chasing ghosts. One fan summed it up perfectly. This might be the biggest fumble in sports media history. Shannon finally tried to clear the air with a nightcap video where he addressed leaving ESPN, but instead of bouncing back, it just made things worse. You could hear the shame in his voice, but instead of owning up, he dodged responsibility. Fans lit up his comments, dragging him for deflecting. Take accountability, bro. Look in the mirror. Change how you move with these women. They weren't buying the act, they wanted growth, and he gave them excuses. But the real sting came after. Stephen A. didn't stay quiet. He clapped back the second Shannon's video went viral. He jumped on his own channel, laughed at Shannon's expense, and let the world know he wasn't standing with his so-called friend. The clip spread like wildfire, and people weren't just shocked at the roasting. They were shocked that it came from someone who once called Shannon his brother. Everybody assumed Stephen A. would ride for Shannon, so when he started leading the hate train, it spoke volumes. That viral clip says it all. Stephen isn't holding him down, he's holding him out to dry. And the sting cuts deep because Shannon used to command respect. He was the voice of reason, the OG, the one people leaned on to keep it real. Now, he's the punchline. The guy who fumbled the bag, got humiliated by Stephen A., and has no real path forward. But here's the coldest part. Stephen A. didn't even have to bury him. He just stood by and let Shannon self-destruct while he kept climbing higher, louder, and stronger in the spotlight. Shannon, meanwhile, has been left in silence, along with all those so-called friends he thought would have his back. Do you think Stephen A. betrayed Shannon as a friend? Or was he just exposing what everyone else was too scared to say? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.